Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I am definitely out a little later than usual, just a little bit, but that's okay. Been quite busy today. I got to hang out with my family, and we went climbing. I love doing it, and I'm glad that I was able to convince some of my family members to come with me. So that was pretty cool. And I noticed something. I like to record myself doing the climbs, and I have an account that I post my videos on, right? Just different videos of me completing climbs and whatnot. I was looking through it, and I realized just how much stronger that I've gotten today with climbing, because I was able to complete my first V4. There's like gradings with the climbs in indoor gyms, and usually I've been climbing around a V2, V3, right? But today I climbed a V4, and while there's like a lot of stipulation with that, because not everything is graded the same. It's a whole bunch of nuance with it. But I was looking through my old account, and I realized how much progress I've made, because I climb a lot better and just I'm stronger. And I wanted to talk about that. I think it is important not only to reflect on your own personal growth, but to acknowledge it, right? Like, to be able to see it in real time, right? Or to be able to just look back on it and be like, dang, I've come a long way. I think it's really important, because it can put into perspective just not only how long you've been doing something, but also, just gives you a sense of, in my case, appreciation for how much work that I put into, in this case, climbing, right? Because I've been doing it for a while, right? It's a hobby that I very much enjoy and see myself doing long term, right? And I just wanted to talk about it. If there is any way for you, whoever's watching this, to record or keep track of what it is that you're going through, right? Or if you're trying to accomplish something, right, mentally or physically, keep track of it, and then look back on it in months time or in years time, right? You could see just how much progress you've made, right? Another thing for me is my journal. I've talked about this before, but like looking back on my journal and just seeing all the different battles that I've overcome, just seeing how I can deal with stuff a lot differently now compared to before, right? I think it's important to recognize your growth, because if you resonate with this energy, I just know that you don't give yourself enough credit. You don't give yourself enough credit, and you find yourself either kicking yourself down, or not, acknowledging how far that you've come. You might find that you feel sometimes less than, right? Which is not true, right? You're a lot stronger than you give yourself, than you yourself will ever realize. Or you might feel that you feel less than, or just not enough, right? Because I know I felt that way before. But if you could see what it is that you've done, what it is that you're doing, right, and reflect back on it, I think it'll put into perspective just how much it is that you've grown, right? And here's another topic that, or here's another segue, right? I think in my generation, especially, we've grown up with internet, and there's this whole thing of how, we just get instant gratification now all the time, right? Instant gratification. All the time, just a press of a button and, you get dopamine instantly, right? Oh, look at the beautiful skyline behind me. That's nice. You get instant dopamine, right? There's a very, very much so lots of easy ways to get cheap dopamine, right? But as a result of that, because we've had so much access to instant gratification, I guess I shouldn't say that's not fair. I think a lot of people find that, they don't want to work as hard for certain things because they'd rather just get the instant gratification, right? Whether it be, something like a test, right? Why study so hard for a test or to try to do good on a test when I could just use ChatGPT and get all the answers that I want? Oh man. Or why work for a relationship, or why try to work for a long-lasting relationship when I could just give myself all the pleasure that I want? You know what I'm saying? Like just very instant gratification. And I think that, definitely a weak point in our society, our loss for this need to work for things long term, which is why, I'm looking back on my, just this one example of climbing, and I think it's so cool, for my life, just to see that, I have been putting in the work to see progress. I have been seeing results, right? Or I am seeing results because I'm still doing it, right? And I'm going to continue to see results because, it wasn't instant gratification. Hell, I'll tell you right now, when I first started, it was hard. It was so hard. My fingers was hurting like crazy. I was super sore, but I kept going with it because, I enjoyed it. Right? I had fun, and it was it wasn't that far away from my house, so I could keep doing it. But I like, the main thing is that I enjoyed it, and because of that, I was able to see results because I stayed disciplined with it. Now, I know that, in my life, and maybe this is applicable to someone else that's watching this, it can be hard to escape like those cheap dopamine cycles, right? It is hard. I still find myself just sitting in bed, just scrolling on my phone. I still find myself just getting bored and not wanting to do anything else or doing anything fulfilling, right? But it is possible. It is possible. But you gotta actually want to. Well, first of all, you have to acknowledge that you find yourself falling for the same habits. You have to acknowledge it, and you have to want to, do something about it, right? But it is possible, and I think if you could start small. Like don't do like a huge big change. Like going cold turkey is not gonna yield the results that you want, right? But if you could start small and constantly like implement these changes and then keep going more and more, eventually you'll see the results that you want, right? Oh man, it's nice out here, but it is a bit cold. It is a bit cold. I should have brought my coat, but that's okay, cause it ain't a big deal. It's only cold in the mind. You know what I mean? Oh man. Okay, I'm getting to that point where I'm just rambling about random stuff. But I hope something that I said resonated with someone. The sky looks beautiful behind me. Very, very nice. Glad to have been able to come out here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up because I'm cold. If you're seeing this, I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself, because the only person who could take care of you is you. And always remember, It's important to reflect back on how far you've come. I think by reflecting back, you'll be more willing to stay on the journey regardless of how hard it becomes. Have a good one.